Okay, so the following video is a big collection of all of the Circus of Horror uh Rainbow the Clown reviews that I have done. It's been a while since I've done the character of Rainbow the Clown. I've debated bringing him back, and just life hasn't been able to let me do a lot of hero episodes, let alone do rainbow stuff. So I do plan on bringing him back in the future. I just don't know when it's going to happen. So enjoy a clown reviewing stuff.
And welcome to Superhero Critics Halloween Special, brought to you by me, Rainbow the Clown, from requests from the Superhero Critic himself.
Actually, I'm just here eating chicken, coming up with ideas for my next themed month. You threatened to kill my children and eat my wife's spleen.
Shut up! Nobody's supposed to know about that! Anyway, I'm going to bring y'all some Halloween cheer by bringing to you some Power Ranger themed Halloween episodes, specifically in these seasons. Now, let's start with the first episode. In the first half of season 1, Life's a Masquerade, where we see our heroes getting ready for a costume party that Rita decides to crash with a Frankenstein.
Our first episode begins with all of our heroes getting ready for a costume party at the juice bar. Bulk and Skull are their typical bully self, and after Kimmy makes fun of them, Bulk meets a bucket of paint after some slapstick comedy.
Stupid stapler! What's wrong with this thing?
At Rita's castle on the moon, we watch her create her Halloween monster.
I want you to destroy the Power Rangers! Can you do it?
I can!
Really? A Frankenstein monster? Why not something original? Like, I don't know, a clown!
Our heroes are now all dressed for the party as Sherlock Holmes, an Indian, a princess, King Tut, and Robin Hood. They discuss that Tommy isn't done with his costume yet, and they head off to the party. We then jump to Bulk and Skull, who can't find a costume, but after a montage of tryouts, they finally pick Elvis.
Oh no! Uh-oh. My back.
Our party is a fun and festive time in the 90s. Our robotic friend Alpha decides he's going to join the party before we jump to Finster and a group of putties grabbing a bunch of super putty from a cave. Back at the party, our Frankenstein gets roped into dancing with a girl before he flips out, tosses the girl, and chases Bulk and Skull out of the youth center with Billy following him.
Now, after whether or not it's really a monster, you really think that our heroes would step in and save this girl, whether they're in costume or not. But nope, they just leave it for Bulk and Skull to do.
Our solo hero, Billy, follows the Frankenstein monster into the cave and discovers what Rita is doing before running into the monster himself and morphing.
It's time for molecular transmutation. Triceratops!
Billy holds out on his own as Rita heads to Angel Grove and starts an earthquake. The Franken monster disappears in the process. And Billy heads to the juice bar and explains what's going on to the other Rangers. They head to Zordon, who of course knows what's going on since he seems to know everything all the time.
You'd think, with all the connections that Zordon seems to have with Rita's plans, you'd think they're psychically linked somehow. Just a thought, maybe I'm overthinking it, or maybe I'm just crazy!
They try to contact Tommy, who ends up being attacked by putties anyway, before morphing into action, and they go head-to-head with the monster. It isn't long before the monster is grown by Rita, and they call upon their Zords. The monster gives our Rangers a run for their money as the putties Tommy was fighting retreat. Zordon finally contacts our Green Ranger, and everything starts to look grim for our Rangers as the monster throws the Zord around. We then hear one of the best musical tunes of all time, and it's not a circus theme.
Dragon Sword power!
Here I come to save the day!
It's now 2 against 1, and still the Frankenstein monster is too much for our heroes as he uses the Dragon Zord as a weapon against the Megazord. Eventually, our Rangers make that final decision of combining Zords. With the combined power, our heroes finally overpower Frankenstein and save the day. Back at the juice bar, Tommy shows us his twisted sense of humor by dressing up as Frankenstein. Our episode ends with Alpha winning the costume contest.
Our second episode is in the second half of the first season, and is called Trick or Treat. It's where they take a unique Halloween-themed game show, throw Kimberly onto it, and we get a wrapping pumpkin. Hooray.
The second episode begins with Kimmy talking to Trini and Tommy about being a contestant on a game show called Trick or Treat for a brand new car. Tommy declines the invitation to watch her play because he has a karate tournament because he's an idiot. We find out her opponent is going to be Skull, who claims that he's gonna win, and more than likely cheat in the process. On the moon, Rita and her goons are talking about the Rangers' doom once again and being at hand with their newest monster, the Pumpkin Rapper.
So there you got it. Justin Bieber's from Canada, Miley Cyrus is from America, and Angel Grove has the Pumpkin Rapper. Music is shit nowadays.
We go to our Halloween-themed game show where we see the game works by our contestants asking questions to the host and trying to earn pumpkin points by stumping the host. We jump to Tommy, who is seen at Rita's pumpkin patch, and everybody's favorite ranger is attacked by a squad of putties. Of course, he holds his own as we jump back to the game where Kimmy earns her first point.
Can you tell me the identity of the Power Rangers?
Pumpkin Point, Kimberly!
That right there was cheating, Kimberly, and I like it.
With her point, Kimmy gets to play a mini-game called the Wicked Wheel of Misfortune game. They don't explain much about the game and just show her spinning on a giant wheel, and she wins 3 points. Woo. Tommy contacts Zordon on what's going on, and it's back to the game where Skull finally gets his first point by asking what Bulk's name is. Skull, however, doesn't do so well with his minigame. Since Rita's plan is almost done, Zordon contacts the Rangers and Kimberly is forced to fake a fainting in order to get out of the game to go to Zordon, forfeiting the entire card to Skull. Zordon warns the Rangers to be careful of all the pumpkins in the patch because the smaller ones can attach their heads and suffocate them. Our heroes morph into action, and of course, as soon as they get to the patch, our heroes ignore Zordon's warning.
Now the Rangers are even more Halloween-y because they are now pumpkin heads. I crack myself up.
Since Kimberly is the only one who is not covered by a pumpkin, she helps break the other Rangers free. We then watch as the pumpkins float in the sky and become pumpkin putties. The fight continues, and the Rangers notice that the more putties they knock out, the more pop back up. Our heroes noticed a huge pumpkin in the back of the patch and ignore the putties to give us something we never expect from Power Rangers.
Guys, let's wake this vegetable up.
Yeah! Trick or treat.
You're incomplete.
To the Power Rangers you can be.
Are you
Crappy rap is crappy!
The crappy raps continue as the monster only speaks in raps, and he sends more putties at the Rangers that are quickly disposed of, and the monster traps the Rangers in a vine that hurts our heroes. Zordon contacts Tommy, who morphs to join the others.
Dragon Sword! Come on, Rangers!
What a surprise! The heroes once again wait for the Green Ranger too!
Here I come to save the day.
Our Green Ranger charges in to hold the monster as the other Rangers form the Power Blaster to take out the monster. Rita, of course, is not happy and takes it out on her stooges. The episode ends with no giant Zord battle, but Kim being bummed that she did not win the car, only for Bulk and Skull to show up and taunt her with the car. A member of the TV show's board tells them to hand the car back over for cheating, and Bulk goes for a spin before the end of the episode.
And I'm sure now Bulk just wants his money!
Sorry to interrupt you, but that joke was so not funny.
No one asked you! Yeah, anyway. Our third and final episode to review is from Season 2, the first half. And it's called Lord Zed's Monster Mash, where Zed poses 5 putties as little children during a chaperoning program in order to trap Tommy, who is now the White Ranger, in another dimension.
Final episode begins at the Life Center where Billy and Kimmy are a part of a program where chaperones walk kids around on Halloween night instead of their own parents.
'Cause you know, on Halloween, their parents will let them go with any person they want.
Our 3 Rangers are concerned that the whole night will go smoothly, which gives Lord Zed an idea to throw his own party with the White Ranger as the main star of the party. It's back to the youth center where we see Bulk and Skull yet again make fools of themselves. Lord Zed sends 5 putties down to Earth as children dressed as Rangers, and the Rangers fall for it, completely ignoring the fact that the helmets look nothing like the real versions. And Goldar shows up and springs the trap to capture Tommy.
Yeah, trick or treat, White Ranger!
Look out! Kids! Whoa!
Tommy holds his own against the putties, but is still kidnapped by Goldar and is put into another dimension owned by the monster Doomstone. Unable to morph, Tommy is then attacked by 2 other monsters, Robo-Goat and Pumpkin Wrapper. Thought we were done with him. Kimmy and Billy put 2 and 2 together. When Tommy doesn't come back to the youth center, they head to Zordon, who tells them everything they need to know, but they still don't know how to get to him to help. Once Billy figures everything out, they morph into action.
Hey guys, looks Looks like we have a couple of party crashers. Let's show them how we have fun.
Here they come to save the day! The two Rangers fight off the monsters and get Tommy's morpher back to him. Doomstone brings back to life monster after monster, and once it starts becoming overwhelming, Zordon sends Alpha to watch the other children while the other three Rangers join the fight. Zed likes to fight dirty though, and makes the pumpkin wrapper grow. The Rangers quickly summon their Zords and the fight begins. With it being 2 against 1, the pumpkin wrapper quickly is taken down without any problem.
Our final episode ends with Bulk and Skull getting sick over too much candy. The other three Rangers decide to laugh at them. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this Halloween special. I will be here again next year. I'm Rainbow the Clown. And I'll stay scary as long as you stay awesome. Hello there, I am Rainbow the Clown, and it is Halloween 2015, and welcome to my circus of horror. You know, one of the things I love about the Ninja Turtles is during Halloween, they can do whatever they want because people assume it's a costume. Just like with me! Anyway, to start my circus of horror for 2015, I'm going to review one of my favorite episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2000 series, All Hallows Thieves.
It's Halloween in New York, and the episode begins with a voiceover from Raph talking about the joys of being able to walk around freely as a turtle on the holiday. But it quickly goes south when demons appear out of nowhere.
Maybe this year we should have stayed home and rented scary movies.
Don't you just hate it when you're out and about as a superhero and, demons from another dimension just happen to ruin your holiday?
Earlier that day at April's shop, a mystery man shows interest in a golden idol, but it's not all that it seems as he discusses with a partner the idol's connection to the spirit world. In the sewers, our turtles are carving pumpkins as April reveals her costume of a kitty cat. Casey comes to take her to a party. The alarm in April's store goes off, and Mikey gets a startling case of monster fever. Mikey holds his own, but Pumpkin Man knocks a bike onto him, allowing all but the Wolfman to get away. Leo interrogates our Wolfman, and our turtles head to retrieve the statue. At the hotel, our heroes waste no time getting mistaken for children trick-or-treating.
How cute. Say trick or treat.
Trick or treat!
Our turtles burst into the correct room and are too late as our mystery man begins to summon demons that attack them. Our heroes break out of the hotel and watch as the city is filled with demons. Our thief then summons the statue to come to life.
I hate magic. Arise! Arise!
You'd think she'd have been asking more money for it.
See, I once bought a statue like that. It didn't come to life, though. It fell apart when I tried to cast a spell on it. I'm not good with...
While the turtles get their butts kicked by old Six Arms, the thieves' demons continue to steal things for him. Raph gets the idea to take the fight to the rooftops, which really does not help them at all as they continue to get their butts kicked. As Mikey's hurt, Donnie uses Bo's staff and trips up the monster. But of course, even falling through the street into the sewers does not keep this monster at bay, and it takes all of their efforts to finally destroy the monster. As the demon disappears, our king of thieves is arrested, and our turtles head out to do some trick-or-treating.
Candy, here I come!
So there you go, kiddies. A little taste of what you'll get in this year's Circus of Horror. But there's still more month of October left. So be prepared for the worst. And hope for the laughs. Hello, I am Rainbow the Clown. Welcome to the Circus of Horror. I am here with two of my clowny friends. The one and only Joker.
Welcome, ladies.
And of course, the sexy Harley Quinn.
Yummy!
And we are here to take a look at their arch enemy's film, Monster Mayhem.
In May 2015, DC released a film, Animal Instincts, in order for Hasbro to sell brand new toy line. And of course, since it was successful with the kiddies, he decided a sequel is needed.
Our sequel has little old me enlisting the help of a couple of my villain pals while creating a computer virus, and the whole film takes place on Halloween night.
So without further ado, let's dive into this toy-selling movie,
Where mayhem is my specialty.
Skidoo.
Our movie begins on Halloween night in Arkham with Solomon Grundy and Silver Banshee escaping, and after a quick scare of a couple of kids, they steal a car and go joyriding. The cops quickly start a pursuit, and our four heroes quickly jump into action to stop the two from having any fun. Banshee destroys the tunnel, cutting off two of the heroes, and the Green Arrow gets a taste of Scarecrow.
Scarecrow complains about Banshee and Solemn's little joyride, while the Dukers discuss why the three of them were working together. We jump to Go-Go Shoto, a video game creator who is getting attacked by a copy of his assistants, and he uses the bat signal to get help from the Dukers. Our assailant turns out to be Clayface, who gives our hero a slip after causing a car crash.
Jump to the cyborg punk getting new fight upgrades when the good old commissioner goes to visit him to give him the files to encrypt camera footage, while Grundy breaks into the other buildings to steal something for a familiar face painted. But of course, Bird Boy has to step his nose where it does not belong, so I leave Grundy to deal with him. Bats, of course, has to try to get me to stop my plans, but I won't have any of it. Of that, will I? I'm waiting for him.
Solomon Grundy, meet the pavement!
Strike!
Right into Bats' nuts.
Why did you go with the bowling joke?
Guess why?
I made a perfect strike!
You are a turkey.
Shoto comes to wake up around our village and is told he will help Joker out with his plans. While our bat tries to figure out our villain's plan, Red Robin is enjoying himself in Shoto's zombie game. Alfred then reminds Bruce of the party he has to attend, and at said party, our clown prince of crime wastes no time in making his move as he steals a gem that Cyborg had found.
My Puddin' and his pals begging their getaway as the do-good just won't let them have any fun. Mr. J starts his plan as all the machines in Gotham start shutting down, including our mechanical friend Cyborg. And We watch as my man takes over the TV airways, and our goody two-shoes has no idea what to do, as they scrape the bottom of the barrel to figure out where Joker's base is.
Technology! The one thing that separates our generation from the current generation. When a 5-year-old knows how to get on Netflix and chill, we have a problem.
And that is why I decided to take over technology, so that little idiot children stay the heck off Netflix.
Speaking of children, when are you two gonna make a Jokerling?
While I am arguing with my dudderhead comrades, our do-gooders somehow find my base, so we split up with Clayface going after Red Robin, Grundy chasing Bats, Banshee tangling with Green Arrow, and Scarecrow torturing good old Nightwing. But of course, like always, the simpletons I align myself with will eventually get overpowered one by one. So of course, I have to step in and handle things myself, but I have an ace up my sleeve.
Seems that vehicles. So this showdown is not with me, it's with them.
As the heroes deal with their technology friends, the Joker frees his friends, but once again our heroes are overcome by their technology fights, including being forced to electrocute their friend Cyborg. But of course, this does not despair our clown as he prepares the virus to upload worldwide, and Shoto gives Batman a way to get into the virtual world.
In the virtual world, my pudding is more control and even turns Batman into Fat Man. While the real world, through the cops, keep tricking Grundy into shooting non-existent heroes, and the rest of the heroes take down other villains.
Back in the virtual world, while riding a mechanical dinosaur, Batman uses an upload and starts getting rid of all of my precious Joker clones.
Looks like your virus caught a virus.
Come on, that's cheating!
No, Joker, that's not cheating. That's technology.
Rainbow, you and I are about to step outside.
No, boys. No, don't. Just don't.
Well, he started it.
No.
Unfortunately, Cyborg is still under control of the virus as he battles the good guys in the real world. In virtual world, Batman finally takes down the real Joker, resetting all the electronics in the real world. The Joker gets away and starts another transmission from another location and creates a giant Joker bot, which the heroes quickly take down with borrowed bikes and a tank from a museum.
My pudding gives the heroes the chase in his neck suit. And through stupid Soto and Batman's thinking, our hero figured out my man slipped the virus into Cyborg's mainframe. So he takes the opportunity to give it to my man.
The movie ends with my partners getting arrested, our heroes celebrating, and me, well, I just need to come up with a new scheme.
So there you have it. Another film Hasbro puts out to sell more Batman toys.
The mayhem Destruction, my specialty.
The corny Solomon Grundy jokes.
Specialty.
But anyway, thank you for joining us with this circus of horror.
I am the Prince of Laughter. This is Rainbow the Clown, aka Bozo.
Do not call me Bozo.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's your idiot brother.
I will shank you.
You're just trying to die, aren't you?
I'm his crazy character.
And this is my brat, who's not even in the movie.
Thank you for watching.
Have a laughing evening.
I'm Rainbow the Clown, and welcome to the Circus of Horror. I am not wearing my usual face paint, but instead I went full green in honor of today's review of the one and only The Mask. Featuring Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz, this film is not as dark as the actual comics themselves, but is still one of the best comic book movies to date, and does not get a lot of acknowledgement nowadays. But, despite the differences between comic and film, this film still boosted the careers of Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz and created an epic film. So stick with me, boys and girls and kiddies of all sizes, and join with me as we dive into The Mask. Our movie begins with an unlucky diver trying to open a chest who gets hit with a pole, and the mask continues to come out of the chest. We then jump to our main character, played by Jim Carrey, Stanley Ipkiss, who is a bumbling bank teller who got tickets for a girl he works with. But she stoops him into giving the tickets for her and a friend. Stanley's best friend, Charlie, does his best to try to cheer him up after the clear dumpage, and a storm begins, bringing in our lead female role. As Tina flirts with Stanley, he is completely oblivious to the camera she has placed in her bag, showing that only her boyfriend and our villain of the film, Dorian, wanting to rob the bank so he could overthrow the crime boss above him. Stanley goes to the mechanic shop in order to see if his car is done with his oil change, only to learn that the mechanics are stiffs and he'll have no car.
I have to have a car tonight.
Hey, yo! Bring around the loner.
The loner? The loner?
The loner? Yeah, I would rather walk than drive that piece of shit as well. The night goes as expected since Charlie gets into the club by bribing the bouncer, but Stanley does not, and he even gets thrown into the curb, splashed by water, made a fool in front of Tina, and forced once again to drive the shitty car that breaks down as Stanley tries to drive over the bridge. While feeling sorry for himself, Stanley sees a mess in the ocean. Assuming it's a person, he rushes down to help, only to learn that it's a pile of trash. But finding the mask, which he almost puts on.
What are you doing down there?
When Stanley gets home, he gets yelled at and insulted by his landlady and sits down to watch some cartoons. He eventually changes it to Ben Stein talking about people putting on masks to hide from themselves. Stanley decides it's time to put the mask on for the first time. The shenanigans begin as the Mask, known in the comics as Big Head, chases his alarm clock in the hallway, destroying it with a hammer. Being scared by the landlady, jumping out the window, making a roadkill joke, and getting honked at by a driver.
I think he wants to communicate.
The Mask runs into a gang and Atomic Wedgie's the big guy and runs into an alleyway where he acts as a ticket vendor, giving the gang members balloons and making a Tommy gun appear out of nowhere. He also pays a visit to the asshole mechanics. The next morning, Stanley assumes it was all a dream until Lieutenant Calloway knocks on his door, asking if he knows anything. He, of course, lies and is given Calloway's card. Stanley tries to throw the mask out the window, but it has other plans. At work, Stanley is chewed out for being late before we meet Peggy Brandt, who is doing a story on the events of the auto shop, and he acts dumb while she acts all flustered when she finds out he had sent a letter under the guise of nice guys finish last. Dorian goes to see his boss and learns the hard way that his boss does not take his actions well.
I get things like that, I start losing my concentration. My game, it goes straight to hell. You could too.
205 yards.
Forgot to call 4. We get a dream sequence of Ipkiss dreaming of Tina, which of course is interrupted by the cliche dog-licking joke, and we watch as Stanley pines over the girl he doesn't have. He also notices the mask lying on the couch and decides, fuck it, and dives to put it back on. As the mask, he cleans himself up, and since he needs money, robs the bank he works at before Dorian's men can. Our hero makes his way into the Coco Bongo by giving all the people waiting in line money. Tina gives us a good performance of the song Gee Baby, Ain't I Good to You? But our hero feels it needs a little more something.
Let's rock this joint!
I love this song! Hey, Pachuco!
As the Mask and Tina dance to Hey Pachuco, Dorian learns of the heist failure and that the guy responsible is in his club. Enraged, he shoots at our hero, stopping the fun. Of course our hero messes with the guy shooting at him, and Jim Carrey gives us one of the best Oscar speeches ever. The cops show up in order to give the mask a way to escape. As the cops are arresting Dorian, the lieutenant notices a piece of Ipkiss's PJs that used to be the mask's tie. Our cop heads straight to Stanley's place and gets nowhere with Ipkiss's lies. Dorian then releases a hit out on the green-faced man, and Stanley stands up to his boss.
We have a crisis on our hands here, and you stroll in over an hour late? If I have to put up with your slovenly behavior, you... Back off, monkey boy!
Before I tell your daddy you're running this place like it's your own personal piggy bank. Or maybe we should call the IRS and see if we can arrange a little vacation for you at Club Fat.
Tina visits Stanley at the bank and tells him about the mask, and the night before, Stanley, of course, pretends to know who the mask is and sets up a date for the night. Stanley then goes to visit Dr. Newman and tries to convince him about everything, but he learns the hard way the mask only works at night.
Just sit back and enjoy the ride, Mr. Expert.
You don't scare me, Mr. Ipkiss. Go right ahead.
See ya.
Okay. You said Loki was a night god. Maybe it only works at night.
Mr. Ipkiss, I feel I should warn you.
You, sir, are crazier than I am, and I am a clown.
Stanley heads to meet Tina, and it isn't long before he turns back into the mask, who quickly tries to creepily seduce Tina. The cops show up and tell him that he's under arrest, and he does nothing to resist other than make jokes and handcuffs the two cops to get away. This starts one of the best scenes in the entire film.
It's all over. FGS, put your hands over your head or we'll open fire.
Hit it! Ooh! Another song I love! This time I think we should do
this. They call me Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. Yes, sir, I'm Cuban Pete. I'm the craze of my naked street. When I start to dance, everything goes chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. The senoritas, they sing and they swing with a pedal. It's very nice, so full of fun. And when they're dancing, they bring a happy ring and a kettle, singing a song all the day long. If you like the beat, take a lesson from Cuban Pete, and that teach you to chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. Senorita, I know that you would like a chicky boom chick. It's very nice, so full of spice. I place my hand on your hip, and if you will just give me your hand, then we shall try, just you and I. Hey! Fat, shut up and help me down, all right? And I need you to chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
Start dancing, I'll blow your brains out.
Give me that thing!
Wow, see ya!
There he is! Let's get a snap out of it! Come on, this dance is over! Let's go! Follow me, officer!
Okay, enough with the dancing. Back to the review. Stanley gets away as Peggy shows up in the nick of time to give him an escape. Our hero then tries to explain the situation to her, while she turns out to be a traitor who was just trying to befriend him to get the money from Dorian. Our villain then uses the mask for the first time.
Better be careful, huh?
What a rush.
Whoa, boss. You okay?
Better than ever, you idiots.
Dorian's goons go to Ipkis's place and steal the money. They then hand-toss him to the police, landing him in jail. The next day, Tina visits Stanley in prison and warns him about what Dorian's plan is. We learn the mask is representative based on the person wearing its personality. But bad luck is with Tina, as Dorian's men follow her and trap her, allowing him to force her to come with them. Stanley's dog Milo shows how much of an awesome dog he is.
Joe, please, do it for Daddy.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Stanley has Milo get the keys from the sleeping guard, and our hero forces the lieutenant to take him out of the station. At the Coco Bongo, a fight breaks out quickly between Dorian's men and his ex-boss Nico, as Dorian himself kills him. As Stanley sneaks into the club, Dorian ties Tina into a tree and sets out the explosives. Stanley is quickly caught by Dorian's men and brought to him. Tina asks for one final kiss before she's killed, and Dorian goes to deliver, but Tina kicks the mask away from him.
Give it one last throw.
Stanley goes to save Tina while Milo runs with the mask but is attacked from behind. Milo puts the mask on while Stanley tussles with Dorian. After Stanley finally gets Dorian down, he rips the mask off of Milo and it gets shot out of his hand. He dives over the counter and reemerges as the mask. Shows off his gun power, swallows the bomb, and flushes away Dorian. Our movie ends with the cops coming in at the last minute, like they typically do. The mayor saves Stanley from the lieutenant. Stanley then decides it's time to toss the mask back where he found it, and in the end, he gets the girl as Charlie tries to dive for the mask.
Okay. So there you have it. One of the best comic book movies out there, in my humble clowny opinion. So, what's next for our Circus of Horror 2015? Well, join me next week as we dive into the world of Goosebumps. Viewer beware. You're in for a scare. Hello and welcome to Circus of Horror. I'm your host, Rainbow the Clown. In the 90s, when us children wanted to be frightened, we turned to the pages of Goosebumps. From killer dummies to cameras that kill you to phantoms of the auditorium and even scarecrows that walk at midnight, R.L. Stine had something for everyone, including all you comic book and superhero nerds out there, which today I bring to you Attack of the Mutant. The show version of this book gives us Adam West has the galloping gazelle, a boy named Skipper, and a mutant who escapes the pages of his own comic. Or does he? So sit back and enjoy Attack of the Mutant.
Our two-parter begins with a voiceover by the epic Adam West going over comic book panels, and we meet our main character, Skipper, who is a little fat boy and is obsessed with comic books with an overstressed-out father who hates his son's obsession of comics. Fuck you, man. Obsessioning over comics is awesome. At school the next day, Skipper is talking to his friend Wilson about the comic, but his friend shows no interest in them whatsoever. We watch as a masked hand peers at them from a bush.
Sir? I do believe Jared is back at the school. You might want to call Subway.
Skipper is on the bus to an appointment and meets a girl named Libby, who seems interested in his comic. The two have a debate on which comic is better, and it causes him to miss his stop. Skipper begins to wander around and comes across the mutants' headquarters and snoops around trying to figure out how it's even possible to exist. That night, Skipper discusses with Wilson how the building's existence is even possible, and we witness the worst jump scare possible.
Caught you.
I'm sorry.
Skipper tricks his dad into thinking he's reading algebra instead of his comic, and the next day goes to see the building again, but it has magically disappeared. At home, Skipper's mom hands him the newest issue of The Mutant, and he discovers the mutant in the comic has invented an invisibility curtain to hide his headquarters. So Skipper thinks it might have happened in the real world as well, but Libby thinks he's full of it until shit gets real.
See, Libby, that's why you never go yapping about stuff you don't understand, especially in the world of Goosebumps.
Inside the building, Skipper is shot with a beam of some kind, and we watch the kids describe their surroundings in front of green screen as they make their way into a colorful elevator that sends them down instead of up. The elevator is completely useless now, so it forces them to look for another way back up. Libby disappears and Skipper wanders into a room with many different drawings. He learns something he didn't expect, and the episode ends. Part 1 ends with the mutant sneaking up on Skipper, and we jump straight into the second part, with that bitch Libby being behind a cardboard cutout of the mutant, and the drawings of Skipper have disappeared. The two leave the building, and later that night, Skipper starts seeing dots.
Talking about how he thinks that some kids get so involved in comic books that they start living in their fantasies. Now, is that what I have been saying or what?
That's what you've been saying? Mm-hmm. What were you about to say, Skipper?
Oh,
Skipper has no idea what to think, and with none of his friends and family believing him, and later that night, he gets another new comic. This time, images of him are actually within the comic. This causes him to freak out like it should, and he heads back to the mutant's lair to figure things out, the mutant trailing him the entire time. This time, Skipper finds the gazelle tied up.
You're the galloping gazelle. You're real.
Real tired of waiting. Turn that heat off. Come on, I'm broiling.
With the gazelle free, the two head up the stairs into the mutant's main room, and all is normal until the chair the gazelle sits on turns out to be the mutant and spins our superhero until he decides he's too old for this shit and actually leaves Skipper to deal with the mutant on his own like a douche canoe would do. Skipper tricks the mutant by making him think another hero showed up, and magically Libby shows up. Skipper tries to warn Libby about the mutant, but I have the feeling she already knows more than we think.
No, he's a mass mutant. He could be anything. He could even be me.
Libby, that's not funny.
There is no Libby. There never was.
Oh.
And now I must do something very bad to you, Skipper.
No, please. I'll just leave and take a bus home. And I won't tell anybody. Honest.
Can let you leave. You belong here now.
See, because of Goosebumps and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I have learned never, ever trust someone whose name is Libby. The mutant tortures poor Skipper, and we learn that Skipper himself has become a comic book character since he was hit with a ray in part 1. The mutant decides it's time to kill Skipper, but our main character just turns things against our villain, as Skipper claims he is actually Elastic Boy, and tricks the mutant into becoming a liquid, which defeats our villain since his powers can only allow him to become a solid.
Don't mind me asking.
Why sulfuric acid? That's the only way you can destroy my elastic body. Oops. Guess I shouldn't have said that.
Too late! Say goodbye, Elastic Boy.
Aha! And there's one thing you forgot, Moons. You can change into a solid fat. And once you change into a liquid, you're dead.
Huh? You tricked me! The great mass mutant tricked by a boy!
Our episode ends with Skipper acting down in the dumps, his mom noticing ink on his hand as she tries to rub it off. We see the truth about our Skipper. So there you have it. 2015 Circus of Horror is closing its curtains. I hope you enjoyed this month of circusy fun. From the Joker stopping by to mutants. This month is full of laughs. I will see you again next year. Welcome to my Circus of Horror. I am, of course, your host, Rainbow the Clown. This year's Circus of Horror will be dedicated to the blood-sucking fiends, the vampires. And what better way to start off the Circus of Horror than with A little look at the Dark Knight, who, even in comic books, has fought vampires a couple of times if you look at Red Rain and Crimson Mist, as well as Bloodstorm. And you cannot forget the 1964 film Batman Dracula and the 1967 film Batman vs. Dracula. But those movies don't belong to DC, so I'm not talking about them today. Instead, we're going to a little animated world from the Batman. So join me today as we look at the Batman versus Dracula. The movie opens up in Arkham Asylum with the inmates playing bingo, and an inmate is trying to convince Penguin to help him escape to find a treasure he knows about. Only mistake is that the inmate also told the Joker, causing both of them to break out. The two run into each other, of course, and a truce is suggested, but...
See your point. Partners? You really know how to shake!
What a shocker! Yet again, the Joker, my dear friend, has backstabbed somebody. Never expected that. The Batman intercepts Joker and begins a chase as Penguin searches the graveyard and learns most tombstones have crosses on them. He eventually finds the tomb he's looking for and cuts himself trying to open the casket, and his blood awakens the sleeping vampire's heart. The Joker then meets a shocking fate. While Penguin runs from his vampire friend, a guard is Dracula's first victim, and Penguin is turned into a human servant. We then get a short backstory on Dracula's death and transfer from Transylvania to Gotham. We jump to a date with Bruce and Vicky Vale that almost gets intimate until the bat signal is shown. That night, Dracula's minions strike for the first time and attack a woman who was purse snatched. Batman doesn't save her in time, but he does get away after defending himself from 3 vampires. The next morning, Alfred believes Bruce has gone off the deep end, and that night Dracula summons all of his minions to begin his quest over Gotham. We head to the charity event where our villain shows up as Dr. Alucard, because, that's never been done before, and he alludes to knowing our hero's identity as they speak about each other's jobs, and Dracula does a mind control on Bruce that only gets broken thanks to Alfred.
Master Bruce, I know the night is terribly alluring to you, but Miss Vale is waiting for you. Sir, is everything all right?
Alfred? There you go! Alfred Pennyworth, the real hero of this movie. Because without him, he would die. Dracula, in turn, changes one of the waitstaff, which Alfred learns very fast. Our villain leaves the party. Brucey then figures out who our friend really is. Like, it's not that obvious!
Alucard.
starts to do research on our King of the Undead and deduces that he's building an army. We then see Vicky researching our billionaire playboy before she gets a call. The news then blames our hero for all of the abductions, and it's clear that Dracula has a very good need for Vicky with his penis.
God, Dracula, you've only been up a couple of days. Why do you already have morning what?
Alfred presents Batman with anti-vampire weaponry, and it's not long before the GCPD spots our hero and tries to take him down, chasing him into an abandoned building until Dracula joins the fray and the two meet for the first time. After some banter, the fight begins, Dracula showing off his powers and outmaneuvering our hero as the two tear up the city, the fight only stopping due to the sun rising.
You spurn my offer of eternal life. The next time, we do not part until maggots feed upon your flesh.
At least you don't have the twilight sparkle, and you know the sun actually affects you. But then again, you could just use that super sunscreen from Blade. It might save your life. That night, Batman has a flashback dream. And the Joker is back again, wanting the treasure, only to find Dracula. And he becomes breakfast in bed.
Breakfast in bed. Fresh squeezed.
I just said that joke, Penguin. Why are you taking my fun away from me? The new Joker vampire strikes at a hospital, stealing blood, and a showdown between rivals begins and destroys a lot of blood samples, creating a happy Joker. Until Batman knocks him out and throws him in a cell. An innocent man then falls victim to a vampire jump scare.
Hey, little girl, you shouldn't be out here.
While Batman works on a cure, Dracula's army slowly begins to take over Gotham. Vicky comes over for dinner while Joker is struggling with bloodthirst. Batman almost figures out the solution.
You're close, but no cigar.
Batman finally figures out the answer, and Joker reverts to his clowny self. I prefer him that way anyway, but Vicky runs into Dracula in the subway and calls Bruce for help, and after realizing what's happened, he heads to the cemetery, and we learn that our villain's plan is to use Vicky's body to resurrect his deceased wife. The Bat makes way into the catacombs as the ceremony begins and is attacked by a swarm that he quickly turns back into normal with his antidote. Batman comes face to face with Dracula, who mind controls him into wasting the last antidote. And our hero overcomes his mind control, stopping the life transfer. In a rage, Dracula goes in for the kill, and the final fight begins with a game of bat and mouse as our hero tries to escape the catacombs, while Vicky tangles with the Penguin. The fight makes its way to the Batcave, and all looks bleak until... Well, that was fast, and you, sir, are...
Really, really, really close, but no cigar.
Batman then lures our villain into the artificial sunlight, and the day is saved as Dracula turns to dust. The cops catch Penguin. The news, of course, doesn't know all the facts like usual, and our movie ends with Batman brooding. We have the Batman versus Dracula. I hope you enjoyed it, because I did. It had clowns. But that was a direct-to-DVD film that went alongside the series. We were supposed to get a sequel called Batman vs. Hush. But of course, that was cancelled when the series was cancelled. So, what more can we bring to you this year with vampire? Not covered. I haven't covered any of them. You will review this. Or everything else is gone. Whatever. I need a video for next week anyway. So, join me next week as this guy makes me do Blade and Trinity. Trinity begins in the Syrian desert as armored vampires begin searching a tomb only to find some of their deaths. An explosion in a building and Blade steps out, killing vampires as the opening credits begin. A car chase begins as Blade and Whistler chase after the remaining vampires from the building, which, of course, begins their vampire murder spree, but it eventually leads to the final vampire actually being a human servant, and Blade is caught on the news murdering a human. Shit!
Set your sorry ass up.
We then meet the vampires from earlier again, and the main villain of the film, Drake, also known as Dracula, who is asked by Talos to help them kill Blade. Whistler tries to warn Blade to be more careful, but he has no care for it. In the subway, a bunch of hoodlum kid vampires try to jump a woman who thinks she is helpless, but looks can be deceiving. Of course, they always pick the wrong woman to go after. Apparently, you don't know what it takes to be a stupid villain. The woman, played by Jessica Biel, slaughters the punks as the FBI infiltrates Blade's hideout, and after Whistler deletes all their files, we watch as his life is taken. Blade gives up and lets the FBI take him in as he gets questioned on his psyche. But of course, he is unwilling to comply, so the psychiatrist injects him with a serum where we learn the psychiatrist is actually a familiar. Our vampire group come in to torture Blade some more, but as they are being assholes, they get an unexpected guest.
Evening, ladies.
And once again, the heroes of the story have no respect for glass. The glass has been broken because it is expendable. Ryan Reynolds tussles with the game Triple H while the device he gave Blade re-energizes him enough to take down the cerebral assassin.
go.
Our heroes make their way through the building, fending off members of both the police and vampire forces as they run into the girl from before, who ends up showing how good she is with a bow. Blade saviors meet up with their getaway van as the cops miss wildly with their shots. Like usual. We learn our misfits are named Hannibal King and Whistler's daughter, Abigail. Blade, of course, thinks the group are a bunch of asshole kids and doesn't think he needs their help. The vampires are pissed, and Dracula agrees to help. Hannibal gives us his backstory of once vampire, now vampire hunter, and we get the backstory on Dracula being the first of his kind and hating what the world has become, and we watch as Dracula murders a bunch of goths. Well, I guess when you worship vampires, you'll eventually run into one. Whether or not it's how you want to run into them is a completely different story. Our group presents an organic virus that needs Dracula's blood in order to wipe out vampires as a whole. And we go through the group's mass amount of weaponry before a shakedown montage of tracking down familiars. And we head straight to Dr. Vance's office, only to find Vance killed and Dracula in his place. The chase around the city begins, ending with Dracula kidnapping a baby. And the two of them, they have a little chat.
Fall before mine. Touch!
Blade and Abby stop a vampire, and the chief of police find a blood-siphoning plant, which in turn just pisses off Blade, and he forces them to put the shit down password in. Meanwhile, Dracula makes his way to the hideout and begins taking out the fighters one by one, from Hannibal to the blind woman to even the child, much to the dismay of Abby when she finds her friend mangled. Hannibal wakes up to a disturbing sight of a vampire Pomeranian and keeps getting kicked by his captors, and the torture begins as Talos torments him with the thoughts of turning again and killing the little girl. Abby finds a video left by Summer, and we learn the virus can potentially kill Blade as well. Zoe gives a warning to our villains. I like that kid. She just gave the verbal middle finger to Dracula. Hannibal talks his captor's head off until Blade bursts through and begins taking the vampires down one by one. Till Abby joins the fight, freeing Hannibal and joining the fight herself. While they are fighting, Abby saves Zoe, and Hannibal comes face to face with some vampire dogs. And after letting them fall to the death, he falls back in the holding area and meets up with the game again. It's now the final battle as hero and villain come face to face.
I was born ready, motherfucker. Motherfucker. I like that.
As our fights wage on, we get sucked in as Triple H uses his wrestling move arsenal before Hannibal gets the upper hand and ends the game. Dracula shows his true form in the fight with Blade, and it ends up being Abby that helps save the day, releasing the virus, and Dracula warns Blade that the thirst will always win.
Sooner or later, the thirst always wins.
Our movie ends with the FBI investigating the abandoned building to find the unconscious Blade, or so they thought, as the shapeshifter changes to Drake's normal body. And we end with a final outro from Hannibal himself. So there, I have completed your Blade Trinity. So you can go bye-bye now. I'm not doing any other videos for you.
You have done well for your first review under my control. Next, you will take on a much more challenging video. You will do Vampirella.
I said I'm not doing any other videos. Especially that one. So you can go to fuck yourself. And for the viewers out there, I will see you in 2017.